Good day, fan of whiskey words and wisecracks. Welcome to our Whiskey of the Week series. Today, we're going to talk to you about Woodford Reserve Double Oaked. Looks like I need a little more. I poured myself a little glass here already. When I first moved to the Louisville, Bardstown area from Cleveland, Ohio, I used to go up to my coworkers kind of as a way to get to know them, kind of a way to get their feeling about bourbon as well. As I was starting my journey, I would say, well, what bourbon do you drink? What got you into bourbon? How into bourbon are you living where you live? And we had an older crabby man named, let's call him Theo, to not use his real name. That's his real name. But we had a man named Theo, and I said, what bourbon do you drink? What's your favorite bourbon? What's your go-to? He said, I really don't like bourbon very much. Oh, okay. There's only one I drink. I said, well, Theo, what bourbon is that? I might have to try that one. He said, the only one I drink is Woodford Reserve Double Oaked. That's it. All the rest, don't like them. All right, so I made a mental note. I said to myself, okay, at some point, we've got to try this Woodford Reserve Double Oaked. So it was some time down the road, but I always kind of sat in the back of my mind to try Woodford Reserve Double Oaked. So I was in Kroger one time. Nothing was really jumping out at me that much, and the back of my mind kind of came forward and said, remember, Woodford Reserve Double Oaked. So I did. It was $49.99 at the time. I know they're a little more than that now. It's actually still the price they are at Total Wine. I just looked it up online, and they still are $49.99 for one of these bad boys. They do store picks of these as well, but those are typically a little more expensive. Before I get any further in this video, because I forgot this last time, and that's shame on me for that. Again, these one-take videos that we're not doing any cuts. We're just kind of shooting straight through and seeing what happens. I want you to remember to like, to comment, and subscribe on these videos if you would, please. We like making them. We like the whole process of it, and we like your support most of all. So we appreciate it. And again, already, I'll tell you, look forward to next week's video. We're going to do this again for another bourbon, so look forward to that. As I said, Woodford Reserve Double Oaked comes in at 90.4%. The proof is 90.4%. It's not age stated. It has a mash bill of 72% corn, 18% rye, and 10% malted barley. And what they do on this one, I'll do another one of my fine demonstrations here in a second. They take normal Woodford Reserve and they put it in a second barrel that is deeply toasted prior to being lightly charred. Now, I can kind of try to demonstrate this for you if I may. The charring of barrels, what is charring? Charring is very simple. The barrels come up, go right up over a fire, essentially, a massive shooting fire, and boom, they get charred for a certain amount of time, usually between 40 and 60 seconds they get charred. We're not going to demonstrate that this long, and my hand will probably burn. Toasting is it's just a slower process of that. It's less heat for a longer period of time. And what the heat does, it penetrates deep into the wood and turns it like a nice brown color, which is where you get some of the flavors that we're going to find in this whiskey. So charring, intense, right up in there. Toasting, a little less intense, a little less intense. Charring is actually going to get you, it's going to turn the wood to like a black, they call it like an alligator char as a number 4 char. It's going to form a barrier that the whiskey does not penetrate. Where the toasted, it's going to kind of work in and integrate in with the wood. So at least that's how I've come to know it anyway. Let's see what else I can tell you about this. I guess at this point we'll go into the whiskey a little bit here. So as you know, on our channel we like to do 5 to describe. I am not the maestro of tasting by any means. I'm not one of those people that get persimmons and weird, jackfruit when I smell a bourbon. So we do our 5 to describe. So I'm going to take a little sniff of this, I'm going to take a little drink of this, and I'm going to tell you the first 5, the main 5 things that come to the forefront on this one. So let's go. With that said, let's dive into it here. Very nice, very nice. Okay, and having had this before too, the main 5 things that always come to mind on these are cocoa, graham cracker, oak, dark fruit, and there is definitely a hint of spice in there as well. So it's kind of just when you think you're getting this kind of graham cracker, you're drinking a s'more by a fire kind of thing, and throws this nice fruit in there and kind of throws you for a little loop with this fruit. At the same time, it's integrated well within the sip. So If I had to describe this, I would call it an alcoholic s'more. I would go back to those s'mores, and I would call it an alcoholic s'more. Would I recommend this? Our Whiskey Words and Wisecracks, I don't know if I mentioned this last week, we did Maker's 46 cast strength, and on our chart that was a 83 out of 100. So that's a very nice score. That's definitely a bottle that I really enjoy. This one, excellent also. It was definitely one I would recommend, especially if you can get it around that $49.99 price point that Total Wine is offering. I would go 75 out of 100. And again, that's a pretty good score for us. I would recommend definitely picking one up. This is Kyle for Whiskey Words and Wisecracks. Hoping you enjoy this video and hoping you tune in next week when we're going to do another Whiskey of the Week.